maybe earlier. And because this happens with me, very often. And I'm very attached to the place where the harmonium is, and I find myself very attached. There the harmonium should be this side. That's how we tend to settle ourselves in our mind. But that's not what the masters want, isn't it? They want to challenge us, and they don't want our mind to become fixed and firm in anything. And so that's what today when the Mahasamadhi celebration, and I'll come to the place why it is a celebration happened, and I found almost everything. The table was on my left, otherwise it's on the right. So that's why I was very at least one thing should be where it normally is, and that I want the music stand on the right side. So, otherwise everything would moved. Anyway, welcome once again to this satsang. Very, very special day, especially in the life of a disciple. And as some of you, or maybe most of you know, this was to be led by Naya Swami Shivani. And we had this discussion with her. She is to travel tomorrow. Back to Italy, and she was in India for many months now, went to Singapore, came back, but again she was in Kerala. And those of you who know, she just recently completed her 75 years and celebrated her 75th birthday. She doesn't look like that, very energetic, very strong, very powerful. But we thought that we better let her rest. Otherwise, it might get too strenuous for her, and then we know the situation with the virus, so as a precaution. But we didn't want to miss her element and what she wanted to say. So I requested, can you write a letter to us that you want me to read or something like that. And she did shoot a video for our congregation, and which eventually will be shared with the larger group worldwide. But she wanted that first it be read, viewed over here. So I was in two minds whether we should play the video or not. And sometimes the quality is not good, and it just doesn't communicate what she wanted to communicate. So what we are going to do, I will try to remember as much as I can. Generally I flow a lot here and there, so let me see if I remember exactly what she said. But I will also share that video with you all on the group, and those of you who are not on the group, please remind me. Mostly I will be able to send to all of you, but if I forget, please remind me, and I'll send that video to all of you. And she starts in that why do we celebrate, what's the reason? And this was a question, personally for me also. Normally you celebrate, the birth of people, but why does one celebrate, when the master leaves and we all love him so much? And this question comes to our mind. Why didn't master, live like Babaji always, why was he not with us? And same we think about Swamiji also, why do these guys have to leave, and I was remembering this last night and today also, when I started my work in the corporate world, there was this concept of maker checker, means somebody makes, let's say, the file, but then somebody checks it as well. So I started as a maker, and I used to make file, and then it used to go, let's say, to my line manager or boss, and he would offer some corrections. And I realized that it kept on till I became a checker. And I realized that the maker still keeps making the same mistakes, but the checker somehow, becomes very alert, and, he's very firm, catches everybody, And there is a certain comparison in this. What happens is that till the time master is here, we are sort of, relaxed, and, we are hoping that he will correct us, and, he keeps on doing that. But then eventually when he leaves, he is first of all able to help us even more than he would be able to do over here. He sort of expands. And remember, why does the master at the first place come over here? Because he has given that promise to God that I will hold the hands of these many people. And that's why he comes over here, doesn't leave our hand, but he goes back and still continues to hold our hand if we extend our hand, to him. So that's the reason, one, we celebrate, but there's another element. When Jesus Christ was with his close disciples, he had just before the day he was leaving or about the time he was leaving, like, these masters always give hints that, I am about to leave. Swami did too. Some people caught, some didn't. Master told, many people knew, but at the same time, some people didn't. Nevertheless, they leave, and somebody asked him, his disciple, why, you have to leave. And he said that when I will leave, I will be able to send the Comforter to you people more easily. So I will guide the Comforter to come back to you. What's the Comforter? Is the Om. Om is one of the Comforters. So that's the reason when the Master goes there, he is able to help us even more. He sends that Comforter more easily to us. So keep this in mind. When he is gone there, he's not like gone forever. He's working even harder for us, isn't it? Now it's our job whether we are able to tune to that Comforter or we are not able to tune to that Comforter. So that's why we celebrate, because we know there is somebody who is sort of, figuring things out for us, sending the grace and the divine to us. And please do watch that video which I was talking about from Shivani ji. Now there is another part which I want to talk about, but now what do we do? How do we tune into that Comforter or, the subtle element when he's not there? Now that also is one of the key aspects. Till the Master is over here, we are sort of that maker, isn't it? We don't want to do too much. We are sort of, looking at the Master and what to do, what not to do. But once he leaves, then we have to take the mental, and become sort of a checker, isn't it? And now we have to guide the work. So when Master leaves, he gives us all the more opportunity to serve, isn't it? His work. He gives directions, but we have to tune into his vibration to understand what is his direction. So this tuning into the vibration in itself is the way to find God, So he helps us in doing that, and then when we serve his work, it is more easier. I remember Swamiji once made this comment. He said when you work with Ananda, it is much easier to tune in and find your work as a devotional element rather than when you work for, let's say, he used the word IBM, but I hope nobody is working here for IBM. The idea was not to offend anybody, but that's what it makes easier. So that's why Guru Seva becomes much more, possible, and it helps all of us to tune into, him very easily by serving his work. But that doesn't end it. What do we do now at this point of time? What are we going to do during this year so that we draw his grace more? And one thing, those of you who are Kriyaban, remember, we have to draw that grace by willpower, by willingness. So we should not let any of the technique go here and there, and if it has become vague, this is the time, to come back and tune yourself. What we are going to do today at the end of, this ceremony, we'll have the ceremony, flower ceremony, and a blessing. At that point of time, we are going to give you a message from the Master, each one of you. Isn't it? And it's your work during the time when the blessing is happening. Go back, read that, open the envelope quietly, because the blessing will be going on. And on the back side of the envelope, somebody will give you a pen. Just quietly, inwardly, write on that what are you going to do this year which will help you to tune yourself more. Be very specific. So, I will do my techniques deeply. That is good, but it would be better if you be more specific, isn't it? Nobody is going to come and check for you, but just be mindful, isn't it? Just be mindful. What are you going to do during this year which will help you to change or step up and come even more higher on that level of being a maker, isn't it? A checker. And then there are many other aspects, what do we do? So what else can we do? We talk more, a lot about it, but remember the reading, it was so very beautiful when Swamiji was reading. You have to draw, thou and I are one, isn't it? We have to keep on, repeating it mentally. Could any way be another japa like Om Guru, isn't it? Many of us know, but do we practice it? Isn't it? It should become a part of our practice, Om Guru, in our relationships. If it is going through a tough time or a rough patch, or if somebody has their loved ones or something, and we tend to go, a little like this. But remember, what is it that is trying to happen, isn't it? There's a beautiful reading which I want to do, just something with Devi and Jyotishji said. He says, God's purpose is not to make our mud puddle of delusion more comfortable to play. It is to get us out of the mud puddle altogether, isn't it? And sometimes we want to get into that sorrowful state, into play with that mud puddle. That's not what the idea is. The idea is those things, those experiences are given to us to make us even more and more stronger. If you are going through a challenge in your business, in your life, in your personal life, whatever it is, isn't it? A transition, one job to the other, and sometimes we sink, isn't it? But remember, it is to give you strength. And that's what we draw, thou and I are one. So the second or the another element is whenever you are going through something, and in general, do it with the master. Isn't it? Whatever it is, isn't it? Behold him through that transition, draw him not only in his technique, but all the time. Make it a practice. Make him your partner. Then he says, ultimately, whether we succeed gloriously or fail disastrously, we should feel that it is the God playing his drama through us. The next time a minor humiliation occurs in your life, remember these wise words from Master Paramahansa Yogananda. And you can close your eyes and listen to these very deeply. Father, teach me to perform all my work only to please Thee. Let me feel Thee as the electricity of life, moving the machinery of my bones, nerves and muscles. In every heart throb, every breath, every burst of vital activity, teach me to feel Thy power. These are his words. This is another element. Listen to his words, read them every day. Master said, read my words, read my lessons every day. Do we do it? Please do it every day, every night before going to bed. And you can find your own ways, to tune in very, very deeply to the vibration. Devise your own ways. There's a beautiful book by one of his disciples, Kamla Silva. I'm forgetting the name. Do you remember the book?
Priceless Precepts? Or, the other one.
Yeah. Anyway, if you come, I'll let you know. But, so she found, it's not, she was following the path very deeply. But, we have to be creative in our own way. So be creative today. When you get that, thought, find that thought. How are you going to tune individually to that divine ray? All right, thank you very much. I would let Jyoti, say a few words, and let's see what she has to offer.